Hey, today on Ask the Trainer, I have a question from Steve in Houston. And he says, in one of my programs, I saw the checkbox obey global conditions. I unchecked it yesterday and nothing happened. What's that mean? Well, let's take a look at obey global conditions first. So let's jump into Base Manager. Since obey global conditions is a program setting, we're going to jump right into a program. So I've got the program open, and then we need to go to Edit so we can make some changes to it. And let's scroll down and find obey global conditions. There it is, obey global conditions. Well, if we click on the little info button, it says that this will allow the program to enforce the global controller settings like rain delays, event dates, or flow settings, or rain jumper settings. So probably the biggest setting we might use this for is for a rain switch. So if we want this program to obey a rain sensor rain switch input or event delays, we're going to leave this checked. If I uncheck this, then what happens is it will disregard that rain sensor input. So probably what happened with Steve is one of two things. He doesn't have a rain switch, period. So that wouldn't impact it, and he didn't have any event delays, or it didn't rain last night. Those are probably the two most likely. Chances are he didn't even want to do that. This obey global conditions or essentially to ignore global conditions like I have now would be really good if this was a lighting program or a door lock program or a pump fountain program, something that is a non-irrigation based, or a program that's over an atrium with an overhang or a roof that's going to prevent rain from getting in there. We definitely are going to want that to water regardless of what's happening with the rain sensor setup. So the next question today for Ask the Trainer comes from Washington, and it's the message. The question is, I got the message program overrun the other day. What does it mean? It looks like all of my programs didn't run. You're right. Program overrun is a significant alert, and you want to pay attention to that one. The full message on this one is program overrun. Program was running when a start time was hit, and then it's going to tell you a program number. So what that means is a program was already running when the next program start time came along, and there was essentially an overlap, and it's a conflict between those two. Now, it could be a couple of different reasons. It could be that you tried to put 12 hours of watering into a 10-hour water window. It could be that you said only one zone can run it at a time. So those are some changes, right? You kind of ran out of watering time, and it said we didn't have enough time to complete it in the day. Or maybe you try to put 28 hours of watering into a 24-hour water day. That's not going to work either. So a couple of things to change. The first one that you might change is to go look at your water window. If you put a water window that's other than 24 hours, if you put some restrictions on there, if you put a restrictive water window, it might be unrealistic for what you need. So if you said, I'm only going to give myself 4 hours to apply water on my site for the day, and you have 8 hours, it's just not going to happen. So you're going to have to be realistic, maybe go back to the site manager and say, we need to adjust that, or maybe it's just you being unrealistic. The second thing to look at is zone concurrency. Zone concurrency is about how many zones can run at a time, or can I just run one zone at a time, or can I run 5 at a time? Can I run 10 or 15 at a time? That depends on the site hydraulics. Now, we get into zone concurrency on another tutorial video, so I'd recommend looking at water windows and zone concurrency on another one. But program overrun is primarily about those two, is you've ran out of time and there's a conflict, and those are the two ways to fix that is water window and zone concurrency. Have a question for me? Click the link in the description and go to hydropoint.com/askthetrainer to submit your question.